What is the hidden prophetic message behind the explosion of the Betelgeuse? What is the relationship of the Betelgeuse star and the sanctuary of God? What is the truth behind the most mysterious gate in Jerusalem? Is it the door to the Garden of Eden or the Jewish Messiah's entrance? Welcome, dear friends, to Truth and Bible Prophecy. Kindly like this video and share this timely message. Here is the prophetic alert that you should know. Matthew 24 verse 3. Tell us, they said, when will this happen? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? Nations will rise against nations and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. Verse 8, these are the beginnings of birth pains. Jesus prophesied 2,000 years ago that we will see signs taking place like wars, immorality, famine, and earthquakes. And all of these are just birth pains. And there are also signs in heavenly bodies, celestial bodies, showing the nearness of the second coming of Jesus. Verse 29, and immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Will there be signs concerning the heavenly bodies in the vast universe we live in, concerning about the second coming of Christ? The answer is yes. Space.com says, odd supergiant star Betelgeuse is brightening up. Is it about to go supernova? The star in question is the Betelgeuse, a huge tinged star that sits at the left shoulder of the unmissable constellation in the Orion Nebula. Betelgeuse, absolutely not your typical star due to its massive size. If we were somehow able to replace Betelgeuse with our own little sun, it would stretch out all the way to the asteroid belt and have a mass of an astonishing 20 times that of the sun. Over the past few months of 2023, Betelgeuse has undergone a dramatic increase in brightness, surpassing its normal luminosity by a staggering 50%, according to a groundbreaking recent scientific paper by Hideyuki Sayo and colleagues of the Tohoku University in Japan. Betelgeuse has already undergone a supernova explosion. I quote, we conclude that Betelgeuse is in the late stage of core carbon burning and a good candidate for the next galactic supernova. What is the stunning connection of the Betelgeuse and the second coming of Christ and the sanctuary of God? God called Moses to position the furnitures of the sanctuary according to the plan of salvation. The altar of sacrifice here, the laver here, table of showbread, altar of incense, 7-branch candlestick, and the ark of the covenant. The Hebrew sanctuary is God's GPS, God's plan of salvation. In the courtyard, Ezekiel 40 verse 17, is where lambs are slain. In the altar of sacrifice, and after 3 days in the tomb, Jesus resurrected with a purified body represents the purification in the laver. In the courtyard, Jesus is the Lamb that died for us. After resurrection, Jesus ascended in the holy place. Hebrews 9 verse 12, but by His own blood He entered in once into the holy place. In the holy place, Jesus is the priest that intercedes for us. And the Ark of the Covenant represents the final stage where the judgment ceremony, the Day of Atonement, is performed. The final cleansing of the people in the sanctuary, Leviticus 16 verse 16. We are living in the anti-typical Day of Atonement, as Paul says in Hebrews 8 and chapter 9. In the most holy place, Jesus is our judge. Then the second coming takes place. What is the connection of the Betelgeuse and the sanctuary? Amos 5 verse 8. He who made the Pleiades and Orion and changes deep darkness into morning. According to the spirit of prophecy, CET, page 111, paragraph 2. Dark heavy clouds came up and clashed against each other. The atmosphere parted and rolled back. Then we could look up through the open space in Orion, whence came the voice of God. The holy city will come down through that open space, Spirit of Prophecy says. Here is the Orion constellation, same positioning as the sanctuary. The radial star, same position as the brazen altar. The nebula, like the position of the laver. The alnitab, the candlestick. The alnilam, altar of incense. And mintaka, table of showbread. And the Betelgeuse in the Ark of the Covenant. We are told that Jesus in His second coming is going to come through the Orion constellation and the holy city in that open space of Betelgeuse. And what will happen when Jesus enters the earth? This is the most mysterious gate in Jerusalem. Opposite to the Golden Gate of Mount Olives, you can see a huge Jewish cemetery. Every religious person wants to be buried here on the Mount of Olives because the Jews believe this is where the Jewish Messiah, not Jesus Christ, will come to establish His everlasting kingdom. The necessity to be buried on Mount of Olives is connected to an ancient prophecy by the Jewish prophet Zechariah 14 verse 4. And in that day His feet shall stand on the Mount of Olives, which faces Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall split into two from east to west, making a very large valley. Half the mountain shall be moved towards the north and half towards the south. Judaism missed the whole point of this prophecy. It's about Jesus Christ. This prophecy points to the real Messiah of Bible prophecy, Jesus Christ. The Bible is very clear that when Jesus comes back, His feet never touch the ground. It says the righteous will be caught up to meet Him in the air. 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 17. Then Jesus and the saved spends 1,000 years in heaven. Revelation 20 verse 6. Now when we study Bible prophecy, we recognize that there are two Jerusalems. One Jerusalem on earth and one in heaven. Revelation chapter 21 talks about the New Jerusalem. And at the end of the 1,000 years, you read about in Revelation chapter 20, it speaks about the New Jerusalem coming down from God out of heaven. And that time, the New Jerusalem comes to rest at His feet, meaning Jesus' feet with the holy city will descend upon the Mount of Olives. This is the Christ-centered truth of Zechariah 14 verse 4. It's not about a Jewish Messiah. Revelation 11 verse 19. Then God's temple in heaven was open, and within this temple was seen the Ark of the Covenant. John saw the sanctuary in heaven and the Ark of the Covenant. And inside it, of course, is the 10 Commandments of God. Meaning, the 10 Commandments, including the 4th commandment, the Bible Sabbath, is binding here on earth and in heaven. Would you like to dedicate your heart to Christ and obey His commandments? We can only obey through Christ who gives us strength. Kindly type in the comment section, "My heart belongs to Jesus." Thank you, dear friends. Kindly share this timely video, and may we all continue to seek truth in Bible prophecy.